Hey, welcome YouTube. Glad you could be here on time today. It is almost 4. Actually started a couple minutes early. Thanks for the thumbs up right away. New hold it. No, I don't want that. Somebody wants to give me an inappropriate comment, let them. Mike Cunningham will, and I don't care. I like the view. Wow, okay. Wow, there was one thumbs up, one person, and then one person left. Okay, now normally what I've been doing is like a question and answer. However, today, and you're welcome to ask me anything that you want, but I want to know what's on your mind. What's happening in your world, what's happening where you are. And that's kind of how I wanted to kick this off. So if anybody's got anything that they want to talk about, anything they want to say, anything shout out, whatever in the hell it is, let me know. Radar, glad you could make it. What's going on out there, Radar? Okay. Well, life is happening out there, but hey, it's going on here as well. Yes, it's still happening here. HBU. Okay, 2 people. Let's bring them in. Let's get some people in there. What is HBU? Not familiar with the abbreviation. Oh, well, you know what? I was painting today. I don't know if you can tell by my fingers, but I have a little paint on there. Hey, Pam. You know what? Today it's more about what's going on in your world. What's happening out there. The Q&A is all good. But the thing is that everybody's got the same questions. There's only so much that I know, but what I know about the Delphi case, everybody does or should. That's kept up on that. So I really wanted to make this more about what's going on out there. But if anybody's got any questions, go ahead and ask. This probably won't be a long podcast, depending. But I was just trying this out because I want to know how people out there are. I want to know what's going on. And apparently it may just be live. Maybe people are just alive. Got 2 people with 3 thumbs up. Makes me feel good. Young Logan dude got arrested. 4. Was he drinking and driving like he's old man? Because I didn't hear anything about him getting arrested, but I do happen to know that in Carroll County, people get arrested every 10 minutes. It's a small town, and a lot of people go to jail there. They just keep you on the docket. I will check into little Logan getting arrested, but I don't think that pertains to anything because he's not the suspect. Oh, yeah, I don't know. There's probably been a lot of Logans arrested. Oh, Logan was arrested for murder. Shit. What was it in Indiana? Because if it was somewhere local, maybe. How odd would that be? I mean, let me ask you that. You know what, Pam? I would like to get to that, and that is part of what I wanted to bring up today. Thank you. Because there is a whole lot on Brent Kavanaugh. But it would be very odd if that the suspect was arrested and his last name was Logan, no relation to Ron. How weird would that be? Yeah, you know what? Brent Kavanaugh, I've been watching the hearings on that, mind you, and I want to point out because it is who I am. I don't buy it, but I don't buy any of it. None of it. Not a bit. You know, because to me, by admitting that it's all real. No, man, the Democrats, man, are doing this. You know what? It's all a show. It's all a show at the highest level. It's how they keep us entertained. It's how they change, you know, the laws. It's how they scare us. It's how they create a new bill. It's all of what the Republicans and the Democrats do. They keep the show going, man. Is it like Brent Kavanaugh? A lady comes out, man, like, oh, he sexually assaulted me in 82. I swear. Well, did you call the police? No, but he did. Brent Kavanaugh says, I didn't do it. Yes, I 100% swear to God. Never did it. Wasn't me. Nope. And I'm like, okay, you know what? That sounds good to me. Hey, man, he can go in and slap Clarence Thomas a high five, you know. But that's me. I mean, do I think that they should hold back his nomination? No, I don't. I think that if you look at it from the point of view of an American citizen, we would have to believe that the Democrats are, you know, doing that. Me too. I got sexually assaulted. I did by him. You know what? You want to be a starlet? Easy to do. Firstly, get sexually assaulted. That's number one, man. If you want to be a star, a movie star, and you're a woman, get sexually assaulted. Don't call the police. Don't call the police about it, though. You know, that's got to be a secret until, like, you're famous, and then you go, I was sexually assaulted. And hey, man, like, let's say you're a guy and you want to be a movie star, right? Go out and fucking sexually assault someone. Man, that's how you do it. Every man in America sexually assaults. Every woman gets sexually assaulted. None of them call the law, but hey, whatever, man. You know, hop right the fuck into this Me Too movement. Me too. I did. I got sexually assaulted. Thanks, Radar. I'm glad you agree. You know what? You know what? I should have 100% agreement. You know what? But that's me. Frank Logan Jr. And was it for murder that he got arrested on? I would like to know that. Chat box disappeared. He'll be right back. 8 people. Moving on up, man. To the east side. Actually live on the north side. Yeah, you know what? I agree, Radar, completely. At least in the 70s and the 80s, we had this much freedom in America. Today, we're rock solid slaves. That's all it amounts to. There is no common law. They took every right and liberty away. Anybody wants to say we got a right or a liberty, you know what? The only time you're ever going to hear about that is if you go to court. And I'm like, excuse me, if I had my clear rights and liberties, I wouldn't be here, Your Honor. I wouldn't be here because this is not common law. They pulled me over for like some stupid ass shit. There is no injured person. I make a motion to dismiss, please. Thank you. Because I do not, go by these charges. If it is not common law, that does not affect a free and sovereign person such as I. And there it is. That is what that is. Yeah, I knew, Radar. You know what? I'm very fluent in typoes. I took classes. So I definitely know my typos when I see them. So anyway, since there are 9 people here today, hey, Harvey Carroll. Oh, he retracted that message. I don't even know what it was. I didn't even get to see it. Anyway, today, what this is more about, rather than a Q&A, is I kind of wanted to know what was going on out there where you are. You know, how's your life, man? What's going on? I never really get to ask people that. And I thought today, man, we could really Maybe run through that, man. Maybe somebody wants to tell me that they're decorating their house, they're mowing their lawn, they're getting ready for fall with a bonfire. Cool enough, Radar. So anyway, if anybody's got anything out there that they want to add in, please type it in the comments. Ladies and gentlemen, I will be getting my phone going. And then when we do this, you can call in live. In that meantime, it's just going to have to work with the chat box. So hit me with a message should you want. And I am sitting here reading them live. Hell, maybe you want a shout out where I can say, hey, it's Harvey Carroll. And he's talking about Jell-O pudding. Jell-O pudding guy, even under common law, was wrong. Under common law. But I'm going to ask, Harvey, who called the cops? When it happened? Who? Did somebody do that, or did they wait one day to go like, oh, yeah, and he raped me too. He gave me Quaaludes and just banged the living Jell-O pudding out of me while I was out. Because you know what? I mean, I look at it like this. Sexual assault is common law. It's common law. I mean, if you hurt that person, if you sexually assault them, that's common law, straight up. And that is the law that we are under. If it isn't common law, it isn't shit. Nothing. Yeah, I know. Radar. Yeah, the woman kissing the guy the sailor that returned is sexual assault now. You know, because everything's sexual assault. One day they're going to make sex illegal. And then what? Then what will we do? I ask, what will we do? Well, we damn sure won't be having sex. Yeah. Won't be having that happen. So anyway, YouTube, what's going on out there in your world? Let me know. This isn't really a Q&A. This is more of me listening to you. You know, you typing what the hell's happening. So if you was expecting a Delphi murder or anything, you know, you can type a question. But at the same time, I want to know what's happening in your world. Oh, yeah. One of these days, Alice. Pow! Right in the old kisser. You know, he never let Alice have it. Alice was really good looking. I liked Alice. I think she could have did better than Jackie Gleason. But that's me. 15 people. Okay, man, jumping up here in the world. Let me know what's happening out there. What's going on? Anybody got any comments on Kavanaugh? Anything out there on that? I can just sit here and talk, but man, even my dog finds me to be a touch boring when I just sit and talk all day. He's all like, bark. I've heard it. I've heard it already, man. Just shut up about it. Trump getting laughed at while addressing the United Nations. Yeah. Well, you know what? There is reason. I mean, if I'm to understand the political circus that, you know, owns us, it's because the UN wants globalization. That is what they want. So when he's in their America First, they're like, yeah, you know what? Federal Reserve owns you. Shut up. You owe them how much? 20 trillion? Yeah, that's called ownership, Trump. Am I seeing any hummingbirds this year? Yes, we had 4 of them plus babies that were showing up at the feeders. Who went to your high school, Pam? God did? How you doing, Deborah? 18 people here. It's jumping on up. And again, I don't want to disappoint, but, today was more about what's happening out there in your world. That's kind of what I wanted to hear. How you doing today? That sort of stuff. Wanted to know. How is it going in your world, everyone? Chat box disappeared. Sorry. I realize it looks like I'm just sitting here vaping, and I am, but the chat box boogied. So I got to wait for it to pop back up again. It's still going. It may not come back. 21 people. Holy crap. Man, I'm glad you guys showed up here. If it was at my house, I would call it a party. Let me see. Kavanaugh is a rerun of Clarence Thomas. Yes, it is. Boring, and he's not looking too great. It was back in high school. Kavanaugh crap. Are you saying that Kavanaugh went to your high school? Yeah, right. Yeah, exactly. You know what? I'll tell you something, Diane. This is some truth. Every year at this time, at approximately right now at this time, I go out and I pick pawpaws. If you don't know what they are the Indiana banana. They are related to the banana. They're damn good, and they make the best pies I've ever had in my life. Now, every year I go out there and I pick the pawpaws that are out there on the tree. One year we got 3, and it was the worst winter in Indiana. The one year we got 100 and some, and it was the lightest winter we had ever have. And it generally goes by the amount of pawpaws that we get. This year, there wasn't one on the trees. Not one. All of them were gone. So, you know what? It's been 6 years, and the pawpaws have always told this story about how the winter was going to go. Do I think it's going to be a bad winter? Well, the pawpaws are saying as much. The Banana Republic, that's going to be America. Give it a couple years. Because they've taken everything else away. Why not everything? They can just sit on a pretty pile of cash. Will you be doing any other investigations? You know what? Maybe, because I have given a great deal of thought to that. There are other crimes that are unsolved, and there's a lot of big named ones. So I wouldn't mind getting into that. But here's the thing: I would only be relaying the information to you. There's very little that I have to say on any other. This is what was said. This was, but I think that what made Delphi so interesting is it's right up the road from me. That it just never happens here like that ever. This is it, the first. In fact, in the history of Carroll County, there's only been 2 double homicides. 2. The other one, 2 grandkids killed their grandparents. That was that. And if you never heard my interview with Sheriff Lesenby, he talked about that because I forget, I think he was a jailer at the time. I'm going to say, I know that this happened, I think back in the early 90s. But he was a jailer at the time, but that was the only other double homicide we ever have. And they was arrested very quick. This one, double homicide, a year and a half later, well, I don't know. We don't know. Oh, could we find it? Nah, it's like investigation. Kevin Hammond don't want you to have that, He don't want you to have material and investigate. That's his job, Kevin Hammond. He does that, and he eats a lot of hamburgers, from my understanding. And he will gladly pay Tuesday for a hamburger today. He will. Because he's that investigator. He investigated me once. And lied. He lied. And I called him out on that. I said, you're a lying bastard, aren't you? You're a real fat lying bastard, aren't you? You are, aren't you? Didn't get any charges for that, though. Yes, well, right. You know, two grandkids killed grandparents, same family. Was it the same family? Yes, it will go cold because you know what? I don't know how many years it will take him to go through 34,000 phone in tips, but there will come a day when there's nothing new to follow, and it will be cold at that point. That's what they want. Oh, holy shit! Ted Barras is here. Oh my god! Right on, Ted. Man, I can't believe you showed up for one of my lives. This is very different from the norm. If nobody knows who Ted Barras is, he is the FBI, the fire-breathing idiot, I should say. He is. He reviews hot peppers and other things aside of that. If you do not know who Ted Barras is, please go check out his channel. Food challenges. Well, I don't even actually know of food challenges, but reviews. The ones I loved best was the Lester's Fixins. Love that shit, Ted. You need to get those back up. Hello, Tony. Anyway, so today it was more just about asking what was going on out there, because normally it's more of a Q&A where I'm talking about the Delphi case, but wanted to know what was going on in everybody's world out there. And the chat box disappeared again. I'm sorry. I shall vape. Later, Tony. Thank you, Ted. I'm going to keep going. I will keep up my efforts until they delete my channel one more time. Okay, chat box disappeared, so I'm just hanging out. I'm just sitting there, man, and I really should fix my webcam so everybody ain't seeing my wall. You know what? Well, it's a smaller wall. Chat box still missing. Come back, chat box. Come on back. It's 4:20 Eastern time. Pretending. No. I'm positive that there are more double homicides than that in Indiana. That's just Carroll County. But again, this double homicide was the grand doozy. Like I said, when I talked to Sheriff Lesenby about it, he said it's all really new to us. We only had the one. Turned out it was their grandkids that did it. So it was really easy to clear up. I'm sure there was a large amount of evidence there on that one because they had them in just so many years. You know what? I was smoking for longer than that, 33 years. I smoked actually for, for about 43 years. And I went with the vape, but the thing is this right here is the Smoke Dragon, or Alien. And what I started on was more of an e-cigarette, but that was a couple years ago. And then I went to the mini fit, which is small, which you got to hit it like so and then inhale it. So I used 50 milligrams of nicotine per milliliter. When you get a big hit like this out of it, then I'd bump this down to 6. If I take 2-3 big hits, man, I will be feeling a little woozed. I'll be like, ah. So, it kind of depends. You could bump that up. What you do, if you get a vape, if you get a decent size one, and I don't know, they usually say like, oh, you don't want to do that right off. Fucking please, it's easy, But you if you get a small one, go 50 because you're just taking a smaller hit. But if you get a bigger hit on one, then you might want to try 12. But most of them, the highest amount you can buy it in is 6. That's what this right here is. And today It is deep fried ice cream because, ladies and gentlemen, I love the deep fried ice cream. The shit is sweet. It is like vaping, deep fried ice cream. And I've never ate deep fried ice cream. It's something it's on my bucket list. I want to. I want to eat deep fried ice cream. Hell, I want to eat deep fried Oreos. I want to eat deep fried Twinkies. I just haven't yet. You know what? There isn't a whole lot to know about vaping. I mean, you know what? It seems a little weird when you first go into it, but I can tell you this, man. The reason that I quit smoking is because cigarettes taste like shit. Couldn't get up in the morning and smoke one. I mean, I'd have to at least have a half a cup of coffee before I'd even light one up. And even at that, it still tasted like garbage. It tars up your lungs, and that's what I didn't want. I had no bad health effects from smoking, so I wanted to quit while I was ahead of the game. It's on the 14th of October, it'll be 2 months without a cigarette. I have went 6 months in the past, but this is voluntary. The direction I want to take my channel in, you know what? Originally, the way it was set up where I was doing food challenges and I would talk about world news, I very much enjoyed that. But the thing is, right now, it's hard to take my channel there because everybody really wants to hear about the Delphi case. That's all that most people that are on my channel right now know me by. And if I talk of anything outside of that, they get very pissed off and they start with the thumbs down. And I understand that. But the thing is, what do you want me to do? I mean, either A, I talk about it on this channel, or B, I make a separate channel to, to talk about it. That's really good, Harvey. I'm glad you don't smoke. You know what? And that's another reason I quit. There was no way I could impress Vicky at 52. She was a friend of mine when I was like 10. She smoked. She was a couple years older than me. It doesn't really give me headaches, but I don't think it was doing me any good. Good. That's really good, Deborah. You know what? I like the Smock A-Lane. I really do, man. This is a prime example of a vape. Dig it the most. So has anybody out there got anything that they want to express about their life? Anything? I will create a storm. And it's coming down. There we go. Where'd you go, YouTube? You know what? The thought of a rally like that has crossed my mind for over a year now. Way over a year. I think that we just need to be upfront and say, look, we're looking at this evidence. The evidence that you gave us. We see no reason why a year and a half in, nobody should be arrested. They had everybody on this case. Everybody. The FBI, the state of Indiana, local and surrounding counties. Everybody was in it. They was looking at more evidence than what we do because they have all the evidence. They know all the particulars about this guy to a point. So why wasn't anybody arrested? How's come they don't have anybody where they can go check their DNA? It's easy to do. Get in their trash, get something with DNA, boom, there it is. So why don't they do that? Why are they just, well, we don't know, man. That's $1 million question. But one day we'll get him. As soon as Kevin Evan, comes up with the answer, we'll go get him. Guarantee you. I'm glad you didn't miss this one. I'm glad you could be here live, Tony. No, well, Pam, I wish that there was, but the only thing is I'm just reiterating what I've already said. I mean, if I went the direction of question and answer, everybody would be asking about that. But man, I've answered all those questions to a large degree. It is one of those things, and they say that, man, even about the police, that the police get tired of people calling in with tips all the time because they've already gotten them. They've gotten those tips. And It's the same thing. I think that what separates me from the police is the police don't hand out their email where they got to hear a bunch of crazies. And over the last year and a half, I have heard from every crazy in Indiana, and some I didn't even know was that crazy. I'm not talking about you. There's a difference between what you write and the crazy people. Never forget that. Unless you're a crazy person and you wrote me and you don't know you're crazy, then I withdraw that comment. I don't know what CC Moore's price is. I really don't. I know she's got DNA detectives, and maybe they do come with a price tag. But here's the thing. That price isn't really, I mean, it is on her work, but for the most part, man, they run that through a computer. That computer is what's scanning. They don't have somebody sitting there looking at all this individual DNA, following it. You know, the computer tracks it. So how much would it be worth? You know, it's one program that they assign that into. And then when they follow it down, that's probably when her work begins, because she's got to narrow that on down. And, you know, if their DNA isn't in there, that's where the work comes in, because they can follow that to a line that goes up to here, and then they got to trace it on down. How hard could that be? I don't really know, but I also know that that is probably also computers that help with that, because nobody's going to look in a, you know, high power microscope at people's DNA and go, yep, they have the same traits. Not going to happen. So most of it is computer. How much it costs, I don't know. But if I had the money, I would have paid. I would have paid her already. I would have said, "Find this man, and when you find him, let me know. I want to know. I want to know before law enforcement. Him and I, we have some shit to talk about for a little while. It's going to get a little loud, so we'll probably go out in the country. Keep it a little subtle." You know what? They haven't. They've only went to just over 1,000 tips, and they said they was doubling and tripling back on them. Well, they got over 36,000 tips, so that 35,000 tips are now handed to the lone investigator. Yeah, you know what? I do too. It's the reward money, but you know what? If that reward money could bring in the killer, there it is. And I see no reason why that, you know, reward money could not pay CC Moore and nail this guy. And that is the big deal of it, because, hey, what happens if law enforcement solves it? Who gets the money? Law enforcement can't. You know, law enforcement can't get like reward money for doing their job. And if that day ever happened, man, that's it. I'm out of here. I'm grabbing my towel and I'm heading to another planet, everybody, because I'm through. I'm done. There ain't no talking sense to America at that point. Vigilante justice, you know what? In this case, yes. Because you know what? Things that vigilantes would do to him, law enforcement never would. But I'll guarantee you that by the time the law enforcement talked to him, he may not be able to talk anymore. He would need wired back together. Chat box disappeared again. Sorry. Come on, chat box. Get back here with me. You know what? I'm going to enjoy a cold Dr. Topper. Hey, when you want a nice soft drink, reach for a Dr. Topper. It's pleasing every time out. Ad placement. You know what? I don't know who is paying for the ballpark. I really don't. I don't know how that works. I think that it is odd in this and the Iowa case that they have a trail out there that they named Two Angels Trail, and out here they're naming the baseball or the softball park after them. And in both cases, they have reward money. In both cases, it all runs identical. They said the exact same thing out there identically as they did in Delphi, and no arrests. No arrests. Man, it's probably because I hate law enforcement so much, but I always have a habit of pointing to corruption. I always do. You know what? I'm a pepper. That is my favorite soft drink. I'm actually on tea, and I like tea, but man, when I get some Dr. Pepper, there it is. I love it. So, does anybody else out there feel that there could be some corruption going on here in Delphi within those two cases? Because they just extremely look a lot alike, a whole lot alike. Two girls, two young girls, reward money, same things being said identically. Years go by. We don't know. I don't know. You know what? We wish we knew, but we don't. Well, what about the FBI? Do they fucking know? I'm not speaking about Ted Barras. I'm sure he probably don't know. You know, the raids that they have made from Tibbs, how much money, drugs confiscated, I don't know. And again, this is me, and maybe I'll hurt some people's feelings. That's fine. You know, I don't care that I hurt people's feelings as long as it's for a reason. But I'm just going to level up with you here is that there should be no war on drugs. There should be no drug laws in a free country, God-given and inalienable rights. A free man can put in his body whatever he pleases, whatever he wants. He can also deny to put something in his body like, man, I don't want that shit, get it away from me. Because we are free, we are sovereign, and we can do what we want. If you go back to the early 1900s, there was no laws at all on drugs. You could go right to the pharmacy and say, yeah, I'd like to have some morphine, some cocaine, and some marijuana, please. That'll be $2. Here you go. Thank you. Because that is the way that it was. And, you know, so I'm going to ask, back then, who was taking over America? Where were the gangs then that was selling drugs? Anybody know? Anybody want to take a guess on that? Because I don't see it. I didn't see any of it. But I know that they wasn't here like that. But today, it's a different story because now everything's against the law. Hell, I left my house earlier, and you know what? I could have got arrested for it because I probably didn't ask somebody. That's the state that this country's in. Everything is against the law. Yeah, I would have too, Daniel. You know what? I think CC Moore is the biggest thing right now in this case as far as solving it because apparently law enforcement just can't. Thank you, Tony. The old school kind. There's only the one kind, Jojo. That's what was given to us in the Bill of Rights and the Constitution. That's freedom. That is freedom. That is freedom. If you don't hurt somebody or their property, you committed no crime. There it is. And you know what? That would extinguish about 98% of all laws in America. So will they ever take them back? No. Hell no, they won't, because that's where they get their money. Everybody's got to be breaking the law. They took everything else away, so now you have all these laws. Be happy our troops are fighting for freedom. Yay. You know what? I'm going to fire the troops because they've never fought for my freedom correctly. So yeah, I fire all of you. Nope, sorry, you're in the military, you're out. You're gone. You're gone. You didn't fight for my freedom. You know, I don't know if they've hired a private investigator, but what would a private investigator do? You know, a private investigator can't go in there and get the evidence. They're not law enforcement. Yeah, we have the largest military, but that's so we can fight other people and kill them. You know, under the Bill of Rights Constitution, it was stated, see, that we was not supposed to fight anybody. We was supposed to stay neutral with all countries. And here was the important part, because we was free, we was to lead by example. Well, we don't do that shit anymore. Because if we was leading by example right now, every country, you know, out there would be out killing every other country. Because we are pieces of shit just like that. I have almost, but you know what? It's not that I don't respect the people in the military. You know, it's a job. I was in, I had no misgivings toward it. I enjoyed my time in the Army, you know, but it wasn't my choice for life. I didn't want to be in the Army for 20 years. And after I realized that being a Army military police was not exactly like an Air Force military police, the SPs, you know, I was like, oh, crap, man. You know, I got to stand here for like 12 hours and guard this and can't smoke a cigarette. Really? Wow. This kind of sucks. Yeah, largest prison population in the world. Also, the most laws of any country on earth. Something for people to think about. At CC Now, Radar, I agree 100%. Michael, do you know we're all nothing but a number? Yes, I do. In fact, I have my number. I have my number. I hope you have yours. And you know what? If you look on any of your IDs, your name is typed out in all capital letters. That is Maximus Dominius, I think, which means that you are a slave. If you don't believe me, look up Roman law. That's exactly what it means, and that's what I brought forth in my motions down in Indianapolis. Because I did not plea in that case. I did not make a plea. I refused to plea. I said, I ain't pleading. Well, we'll put in not guilty for you. Okay, that's ruling from the bench, but whatever pleases you, knock yourself out. Who is your father, Jojo? May not be an understanding. That's why I ask. I mean, I was talking social security number, unless you was talking like DOC number, something like that. Okay. Got you. We're all a bunch of slaves, aren't we? You're all a bunch of slaves. No, Christy. I'm not that old. My dad was, though. My dad was 101st Airborne in Vietnam. Sure enough, man, he got messed up. Took his knees out. Okay. So yeah, my dad was in Vietnam. The closest that I came to that, and I really wanted to go, but I was inactive at the time, was the first Iraq War, because they was calling people up, and I thought, well, I'll probably be going, but hey, you know what? It really beats sitting here, because I was in Indiana. I was working at Modern Materials at the time, so I was kind of looking forward to going over there. I mean, you know, here was my take on it, man. I'm going to Iraq to fight. Really? Who am I going to fight? I mean, who's going to be standing out there in the sand shooting at me? You know? Seemed like a bunch of throwing up tents and hanging out. That's what all I really assumed it was. I didn't see that many people dying, except for maybe hiking on a roadside bomb. You know what? I would agree with that, Radar. And you know what? That's really thinking. It really is. Because when somebody dies, take their DNA. Take their DNA at that point, and then that way you can help trace these things down by familial DNA. But it's like, if they come to me for my DNA, here's my issue with it. They could bring in somebody. I mean, like, let's say I'm framed, okay? They say, well, we have your DNA right here, and we're going to have experts talk about it. So In other words, since I can't look at that and say, yeah, that's my DNA, I have to take the word of an expert. How do I know that this isn't fraudulent set up to frame me? How do I know that? And that is what I feel in a lot of ways about the DNA. Because I can't look at a DNA. Nobody can. Nobody on this earth can look at DNA and say, yeah, that belongs to that guy, man. No fucking doubt about it. No, they got to bring experts in to say, well, we looked at this, and to be it's 99.999% certain that it's him. Well, fuck. He did it. The expert said. I heard him. Bless you, Wolf. He had sneezes today. I don't trust them. I do not trust them. Law enforcement is shit. And if law enforcement isn't shit, then why do we have so many laws? Why is it comply or die? Huh? Why is it like that? Where's freedom? Did anybody ever think that all these mass shootings happen because they took all of our freedom away? And everybody's got to sit in their house watching programming? I do. Well, that and plus fluoxetine medications, they definitely are big. You know what? If you go back before 1992, and I'm thinking that was in or around the time. When was Columbine? Anybody know right offhand? I know it was in like about the early 90s. But that's what kicked off all this mass shooting and the school shootings was Columbine. And all of these things started happening to where we have them at about one a week. 99? Was it 99? I thought it was earlier than that. Anyway, it all started happening right after the FDA approved fluoxetine medications. Look, I could go to a doctor today and say, you know what, I've really been feeling down. I'm just not feeling that good, a little depressed. Oh, well, hey, we got Lexapro. Yeah, man, you know what? Take this, you'll feel better. You will. And if you take it long enough, man, you might go kill people. There it is. Because it is what it is, man. And you know what the FDA knew? The FDA knew, man. They knew long before they put it in there. Who was the first person to use fluoride for keeping people content? Anybody want to guess on that? I know somebody out there knows. Just lay it on me. Come on, man. Quick answer. It's like Jeopardy. Don't make me hum the song. Anybody? Anyone? A guess on that? Yes, exactly. Thank you, Harvey. It was the Nazis. It was actually under Hitler because they put that in the concentration camp water to keep people more content so that they didn't get riled up and cause shit. And that is the thing. Now, if anybody's ever watched the movie Dr. Strangelove, the guy in there is talking about that. He said the most communist thing ever done to America was putting fluoride in our water because fluoride is not taken internally. It isn't. You know, I mean, like if you use it for your teeth, you put it on your teeth. You don't fucking swallow it. When you swallow it, it goes up here, everybody, right here. Prozac is bad news. And that is, man, because Prozac is a fluoxetine medication. All of the antidepressants that we are given all have fluoxetine in them. All of them. And that is what affects the people up here. Because you could be depressed. And like Prozac, you know, these kind of medications, they might get you around that where you're like, I'm not as depressed as what I was. But the simple fact is when you take it for years, if you have other mental issues, it will start to exacerbate that. You will find yourself with a rifle thinking, oh, I'm going to go show these fuckers. I'm going to a school and I'll wipe everybody out. I don't even care if I die. Fuck it. Because it is what it is. And they know that. We don't. They don't tell us. They don't tell us this shit, but go look it up, man. Go look up when fluoxetine medication was approved by the FDA, and then look at the mass shootings before that, and then after. You're going to see a very large increase that goes whoop, right up. Today, about every 2 weeks. You can expect a mass shooting. As soon as a mass shooting happens, lawmakers will say, the violence must end. We must do something. We got to get rid of this. Well, fuck, man, they already have it where you got to have a damn license to carry. You got to have a license to own. That shall not be infringed on the Second Amendment. Don't know what the fuck they thought that meant. All they have ever done throughout my life for 52 years is infringe upon that shit. So one more time to the government. Fuck you. Fuck you, government. I don't know why you almost jumped out your window. Well, I hope it was because of something I said. But I'm not trying to get people to jump out windows. You know what? I don't know how many thumbs down I have, but I have 9 thumbs up. That kind of tells me that maybe Cunningham is not about. Maybe he has not arrived. He should know when I make a video, and I like his views. I really do. You know what? He's made so many accounts. I think that he's got more accounts than what he has birthdays. Well, if I'm going that direction, I mean, there are better. I mean, at least to me. Well, yeah, but look, he's kind of a child. I mean, look, he don't have videos. He just calls everybody that you know and wants to act like he's telling you, and I'm like, man, you know what? One thing is fact on this channel. If it happened to me, you know about it. You know about it because I've spoken about it in videos in the past, and hey, I'll come clean. But I can tell you this right now. Never one time in my life have I broken the law. I repeat, I have never broken the law. Ever. Not one time. Or do what? Oh, yes. Yes, of course. Yeah, those. That's not the law. That's not common law. I have never hurt a person or their property in my life. Anything other than that, they can say whatever they want, but I never did that. Never. Not one time. So I have never broken the law. Now, they did get me on theft when I was returning something to somebody, and I told them that. That was my thing down there in Indianapolis when they got me on theft. I said, look, I picked it up because it was the lady in front of me at TSA. I was going to my flight. It was carry-on. Thought she was coming right back. I never left the premises with it, nor would I have. It is not theft, and that's why I did not adhere on the charges. I'm like, no, I am not. Under common law, I never would have been arrested. Maybe you know what? Maybe Cunningham owns YouTube. I never thought about that, but maybe he does. Maybe he's Mr. Google. Yeah. Statutes. You know what? I ain't even got that to worry about. Like I said, I don't break the law. Anything that they would arrest me on is pure shit. It always has been. It was stuff that they made up. I don't know. I don't even know what Cunningham's story is. I really don't. It's getting colder. I didn't pee on the police? No. How would I pee on the police? No, I don't know what Mike Cunningham's backstory is, but it's probably that his parents didn't pay him a lot of attention. He's got to get it on YouTube. He's got to be a dick. He's got to be a little cock smooch. That's who Mike Cunningham is. You know what? Mike Cunningham got a hold of a friend of mine because he wanted to reach me. So rather than reaching me, he reached them to tell me that he was trying to reach me. And I said, well, why in the hell did he reach you? You don't even know him. Well, he said he was wanting to reach you. I said, I don't care. I ain't wanting to reach him. Hell no, I don't know Mike Cunningham personally. I think he lives in California or something. Yeah, he don't live around here. I don't know the guy at all, man. I mean, other than what he does on YouTube. That's it. Now, there was a Michael Cunningham that was assaulted in Carroll County, and he got on there. Well, that ain't me, though. That ain't me. So, I don't even know if it was or it wasn't. I don't even know if Mike Cunningham's his real name, man. It might be CS, which the S stands for smooch. Don't be nasty. Don't be nasty about it, YouTube. We're not here for nastiness today, but you know what? Should I ever want to just be nasty, you know what? I'll invite you along. You know what? We'll make a party of it. We'll all just go out and be nasty for a time. We'll get together, man, and go cyber nasty. That'll teach the place. Oh, you know what? I got the camcorder going, so I can't edit this. Yeah, you know what? I agree, Diane. I do. And when that stuff confronts me like that, when people try to get you like on their side, whatever, with their, click. Unfriended. Unfriended, man. I do not play that game. Yeah. No, you know what? That was me. Because anytime that I was talking about something that was like off of Facebook, where people was just like, repeating garbage, I would always throw that up in the background where it was a shit sandwich, because that is what it is. I mean, people hear crap and then they say, well, what are your thoughts on it? I don't have thoughts on it. It's a fucking shit sandwich, people. I have no thoughts on that shit. If it doesn't match the evidence, why are you asking me? Well, it does need to stop, but you know what? As long as people promote it and push it and say it, and I heard this from the family, I heard this from the police, this is the inside word, people will believe it, man. People believe that shit. And then they ask me about, well, I heard they did it. Well, did you look it up? Did you fact check it at all? Because if you're just asking me, I'm going to just tell you straight to your face. It's a shit sandwich. There it is. Yeah. That, oh man, I fogged it again. I'm sorry, man. See, I got to go looking for YouTube. Sorry. Because I'm 52. Okay, man, I'll be 53 in, let's see, what's it, 2 months. In about 2 months, I'll be 53. And most people are younger than me. And I grew up, and this is very true, because I got a friend that lives right out here by me. Me and him were best friends growing up. We've always been great friends. And it was weird, because I could go into it, but you know what? Fuck it, man. I got time, man. I'll just tell you a quick story. I hope that this doesn't bore everyone. So me and my friend, we're living in Iona Lake. If you look that place up, I think it's like population 500. Something like that. In the winter, in the summertime, though, it's about 2,000, because it had cottages all the way around the lake, and people from Kokomo would rent them. So in the summertime, they would go up there on weekends up to the lake. Anyway, really small lake out in the country. So we grew up there, and one day his dad was down at my house talking to my grandfather who raised me, and, he had asked him, well, who's Michael's real father? He said, oh, you know what? I don't want to just say my dad's name, but I'll put it to you like this. Well, his father is his father, So he's like, oh, really? My wife, her sister married a guy by that name in Kokomo. Well, it's probably him, and come find out that we lived up there. I had never met my dad at that time. Okay. And this is like, I don't know, we was probably about 17, somewhere right in there. And I found this out. So I talked to my friend about it, and I'm like, you know my dad? yeah, he comes up about every other week with his wife, you know, and I'm all like, because we lived 40 miles north of Kokomo, man. Kokomo's, I forget the population. It's wicked bigger than Delphi, though. Way bigger. It's a big town. It's an automotive town. Anyway, it was crazy that his stepmom and my stepmom are sisters. That was crazy. I knew his stepmom my whole life, you know. No, yeah, I wasn't in Vietnam. I mean, man, I'd have to be about 17, almost 20 years older than what I am. Man, my dad, see, he just turned 70, and he was in Vietnam. Maybe. Yeah, if he was 101st Airborne, probably. And, you know, I forget where I was going before I cut in with that story about my friend. For that, I apologize. Yeah, you know, I could have named this something different. 16. See, popularity waning again. Happy birthday then, Tony. You got that birthday coming up. You are exactly 2 years and 2 months younger than I. Night, Harvey. We'll see you. All right, everyone. You know what? I should round this off at an hour. I really should. I've been on here about an hour, but you know, I just wanted to try this out. Just wanted to get people's word, man. I wanted to know how everybody out there was doing, because when I turn this on like Q&A, it's like it's all about me. But I get the same questions all the time, and it's not that I mind answering them, because you know I will get like almost identical emails from people that want to know stuff all around the lake. If you look at Niona Lake, look at it. There, all those around the lake, I call them cabins. Some of them are houses now, because a lot of the old cabins were tore down and people built houses. It's kind of growing in population. When we was growing up, especially in the 70s and 80s, it was very bare in the winter. You know, you had to, you know, we had our summertime friends, and we had, you know, the regular friends. You know, there was a lot of people that I met up there in the summertime, because they would come up and they lived in Kokomo. All right, everybody. So I'm going to sign off of here, man. I appreciate everybody viewing this video. If you have not liked, please do now. If you didn't subscribe, why are you even viewing? I will talk to y'all in my next video, everyone. Peace.